welcome back to the Pittsburgh Sports Saviors. The Pittsburgh Steelers fall to 1-1 after a lackluster performance, to say the least, against Seattle, losing 31-17. Lee, I came into the week saying, this seems like a win. And once again, the Pittsburgh Steelers show that they can lose any game they want. What are your opening thoughts?
Just a disappointing game. Steelers didn't show up to play at their home game, coming off of a win where we thought maybe the Jets were good, and the Jets end up losing, and thinking that this could have been a 2-0 start for the Steelers, and coming into this one and just could not make any plays, couldn't move down the field, it didn't seem to be able to do anything today.
Yeah, I mean, like I said this week, we're going to be able to see how the Jets do this week to see how good that start was for the Steelers. And the Jets got pretty much blown out today.
Yeah.
So that shows you
who the Steelers are.
That we shouldn't get too excited about what we saw last week. And this game here is a lot more like you might see from the Steelers this year. It was a lot like we've seen in the last couple of years. Aaron Rodgers ended up with 18 of 33 for 203, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. But, I mean, a lot of the game, he was not playing very well. And he got a lot of that yardage is in garbage time late, and then the Jalen Warren 65-yard catch. So it was not a great performance, to say the least, from Rodgers. The offensive line was awful all game in pass protection. He ended up getting sacked 3 times for 20 yards. Even in the run game, I mean, you had Warren went 14 for 48. That's 3.4 on average, and he was running well. I mean, there was just not much going on there. I wouldn't put the blame on him at all. But that's just speaking about the offense. The defense comes out, plenty of injuries in their defense, but they just allowed the Seahawks to do whatever they wanted for a lot of parts of this game. They ended up, I think, getting outscored 24-3 in the second half, which is just an embarrassing performance. You can't get beat like that at home. It's a home opener. It's just a bad look. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think going into the second half, I think Rodgers only had like 45 yards passing going into the second half, and Lyon couldn't give him any time. He was throwing quick passes all day.
Yep.
He had no time to even settle in the pocket at all. It was a lot of just throwaway balls, for him. It almost seemed like just because it was a hot day, there was a lot of cramping, a lot of throwing up, a lot of just stuff going on with these players. It just seemed like they couldn't take the heat, I guess. I mean, I saw on the Seahawks side, they had like little tents for them to be able to stay kind of, I guess, cooler from the sun. The Steelers didn't do that, but
I'm sure they had something. I mean, you might be right, but I'm sure maybe we just didn't see them, because that would be pretty awful if the Steelers do not have anything. So I'm sure they had something, but the cramping was an issue. The just general energy, like injuries, just popping up everywhere.
They were dropping like flies today.
Especially early on. I haven't been able to verify this, but I saw it from Bob Pompiani. This is now the 6th straight game that TJ Watt has not had a sack.
Wow.
Yeah, I did not know about that.
Wow. I didn't either.
Yeah, wow. I figured usually we go right to Tomlin. There's actually words from TJ Watt and Aaron Rodgers that I want to go to first. I haven't listened to it yet, but let's see what he had to say.
Yeah.
Far away, guys.
TJ, what do you see going on with the run defense? They had a number of long runs against you guys. Part of the tackling, what's happening?
I don't know, man. We're going to have to look at it and break it down. Clearly, it's the same issues are rearing their head from last week. And in the NFL, you don't have time to go back after each and every game and make the adjustments. You need to make the adjustments before they happen, and if they happen in game, before they're allowed to continue to snowball like they did today and like they did last week. So back to the drawing board. I'm sure there's a multitude of different reasons why this is happening, but we're way too talented. We have way too good of schemes to allow this to continue to happen week after week.
Along those lines, Kenneth Walker, 13 carries for 105 yards. That's 8.1 yards per carry and a touchdown.
Yeah.
He gashed them every time he had the ball. It was his long was only 20.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot. But the idea that he had 13 carries for 105 yards with a long of only 20 just shows you that he was gashing them left and right. Zach Charbonnet didn't have as good of a game, but it's inexcusable, as they say.
Yeah,
inexcusable.
It is. And I'll get into the stats here in a little bit, but the Seahawks had a combined total of 117 yards rushing. I mean, that just kind of adds to what like TJ had said about them putting up over 100 on the Steelers last week as well. I mean, the run defense just has not been good the past 2 weeks of what we've seen, and there's something they got to figure out, and I don't know what it is.
It's not looking good, says Working Punch Productions.
Yeah.
You come into this game thinking that you had fixed some of those issues in practice?
I was definitely confident. I think each and every week we feel confident going into the game. You never go into the game thinking negative thoughts, but clearly wasn't enough.
What was allowing them to have so much success on those chunk plays? It really felt like on third down they picked up a lot of big yardage.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't able to pressure the quarterback as much as we'd like. There was a good amount of max protection. We just need to be able to get home and help the guys in the back end to reduce those big plays. Even third down and long, some of those were runs too. We need to do a better job of stopping those plays. So not allowed to have those 4th and 1s, and then be able to be much easier to convert.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle gashed them up the middle. I mean, not gash, maybe it's more of a run term, I guess, but up the seam 3 or 4 times. It felt like in the first half they got first downs on 3rd and longs. It just seemed like they had a game plan, and it worked very easily, to be honest. Sam Darnold ended up 22 of 33 for 295, 2 touchdowns. He did throw 2 interceptions. And as Working Punch mentioned, he thought that the interception was the best part. I don't know if he means the final interception at the end of the game on Rodgers, or if he means one of the plays that the Steelers were able to make. But, it was not pretty.
Yeah, it seemed like the middle of the field past 2 games, it just opened, that the Steelers were leaving wide open. And then once they get in that man coverage one-on-one deep, somebody's getting beat, and no one's able to be able to stop what's going on, So, I don't know. I think you made a comment earlier today, but I don't know if there was just a scheme that the Seahawks were seeing from last week with the defense, but something was going on where they just were able to take care of the middle of the field on us. So, just something they need to review and practice be able to, the videotaping and, taking notes and seeing what's going on. Where are they messing up? And they need to figure out some type of defensive scheme to get this stopped, because if they continue to allow this, it's going to be a long season for this defense.
I mean, and what Watt mentioned was that it's tough to make adjustments week to week when there's flaws like that. So it might be lucky that they have an early bye week.
Yeah.
So that's enough from Watt, I guess. Let's get a little bit from Rodgers before we head out. After this, we'll get your stats for the game.
What were they trying to take away from you that was effective or difficult for you guys?
I mean, they're sticky on the outside, good coverage guys, and played a lot of 2-show, and we just couldn't run it effectively enough to kind of get them out of it. On tape, there had been a lot of pressure. A lot of different personnel groups. Now with Spoon being out, they played, less different groupings, less pressure, much less pressure, and more too high.
What wasn't working for you guys on third down? I believe you were 5 of 15 on the deck.
I mean, everything. I wasn't on target. We weren't getting open effectively enough, and they were getting some good pass rush.
Okay, we stunk.
Yeah.
Pretty much what it comes down.
Yep, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, there were times in the game you looked like you were pretty spirited out there, and maybe a little bit disappointed with stuff that was happening, whether it was with yourself or on. Is this starting to get a little frustrating? You get
No, it's week 2. Come on now.
I know, that's
Come
what
on. It's week 2. I mean, it's good for us. Last week, probably there's some people who were feeling feeling pretty good because everybody outside the building is talking about how great we were on offense and 34 points. That's the league. You can't ride the highs or ride the lows. You gotta refocus every single week and be a professional. And it starts with the practice and the preparation. So we just get a chance to reset, take a look at what we did last week, what worked, what didn't work from the preparation standpoint, do better next week.
He's right. It's week 2, but I mean, this is the same thing we've seen for many years in a row from the offense.
Yeah.
So there's that concern for sure. Are you willing to wait and hold off? Are you ready to burn everything down?
I don't want to burn it down yet. I mean, it needs burned down, but I don't think yet. I think we need to give it a couple weeks. Again, it is week 2, but like you said, it is a lot that we've seen over the past few years. It's just not been good at all. But I'm willing to give it another at least 2-3 weeks.
Okay. After 3 weeks, I'm holding you to that.
And sometimes when you in the red zone and you get to a certain point and you end up with a field goal, is it harder to motivate, especially some of the younger players, when you get over to the sidelines and just tell them to keep on pushing?
No, not at all. No, I mean, I look at myself first, and if we have a field goal, I probably wasn't effective enough in the situation. But, I feel like we had a good, good couple drive. Defense was playing good in the first half, and we just came out and just couldn't do a whole lot in the third quarter. And then obviously the play that took a lot of points off the board was the interception there on the 3-yard line or whatever.
Yeah, lost in the Caleb Johnson fumble is that drive. I honestly completely forgot about it, which is crazy on my part. But that was a big miss for the team. And we really didn't talk about that at the beginning. That interception was a little killer.
Yeah, it really. I think that's what definitely changed the trajectory of the game. That play, I think at that point the team lost any type of momentum or motivation that they did have going into the rest of that game. Because at that point they're only down a touchdown because they had just scored, and then that play happens, and now they're down 2, and then it's like, now it's like, okay, now we got to try to figure out a way to get back into this, and I think that's what kind of just started the downfall of the rest of this game for them.
Mm-hmm.
You looking for on that interception? What happened?
Pat Fryermuth. Adam McCall is the best kid ever, but he probably should have just stayed in the flat there. He knows it. Or he was kind of stealing it from Pat, or just catch it, put it away, score a touchdown. But Cal's the best kid, and it sucks because he's such a great kid. But unfortunately, that whole sequence, took points off the board.
Aaron, the offense was not effective enough on first down.
Yeah.
So what do you need to do to really get that turned around? Because that's so important, being effective on first down.
Yeah, we got to run a little better. I got to be more effective throwing the football, and we got to do our job. I think if you go back and watch the film, which we will tonight, tomorrow, we were close in a lot of plays, and it's probably one person. Sometimes it was me. Sometimes it's somebody in front. Sometimes it's perimeter. But we just got to own our mistakes and be very accountable to each other, and take this kick in the chin the right way and be a professional about it, and come to work this week and move on and get ready for New England.
I just want to ask you about the performance that Jaylen Warren had. A couple of monster plays, obviously, for you. It looked like a number 1 running back in the NFL.
What do you mean?
Well, he's been a part here. Mostly hasn't really been a feature back before.
Yeah, Jalen's a great player, man. He's a great player. That was an awesome catch and run. He brings a lot to the table. Might have to keep giving him more opportunities in the pass game because every time he touches, something good happens.
We'll end it there. There's always somebody that has some fucking question that confuses somebody. Anyway, Warren did have a great game for his part. 4 catches for 86 yards, great 65-yard catch. Running game wise, he's not doing too great yet. He ended up, I think 3.4 a carry. I think it was like 48 total. Is that right? Yeah, 48 yards? Total on 14. It is what it is. What do you expect?
Yeah.
From an like the offensive line just isn't doing their part. It's a fact. They're not doing enough pass protection. They're not doing enough in the run game. I don't know what the solution is there at this point. So maybe just got to work around it, and I'm sure they can try to find a way to score some more points.
Yeah.
But that second half was just brutal for a long bit. I mean, getting outscored 24-3. It's just, you can't have it happen. Go ahead, Lee. Give us the stats on the game.
Yeah. So again, final score: Seahawks 31, Steelers 17. Total yards: Seahawks had 395 yards to the Steelers 267. Pass yards, they actually had more pass yards than the Steelers had total yards. Pass yards: Seahawks 278 pass yards to the Steelers 195 total. Rush yards, Seahawks, like I said earlier, 117 total to the Steelers 72. Yards per play, Seahawks at 6.2 yards per play to the Steelers 4.5. First downs, Seahawks at 21, Steelers at 13. Third down efficiency was kind of the same. Seahawks 6 for 14, Steelers 5 for 15. Fourth down was the same. They each went 1 for 2 on fourth down. Total plays, Seahawks at 64 to the Steelers 59. Like you mentioned earlier, Seahawks had 3 sacks against the Steelers, and the Steelers only had 2 sacks. They each punted the ball 4 times. Penalty yards were about the same. 2 for 10 for the Seahawks. The Steelers 2 for 15. Turnovers, the Seahawks turned the ball over twice with 2 interceptions by Sam Darnold, that you mentioned earlier. Aaron Rodgers had 2 interceptions as well that he threw. Plus, there was that failed kickoff return by Caleb Johnson that resulted in a touchdown by Seattle that when they went down and scored, and they scored that again, and it kind of changed the momentum of the game. Time possession, Seahawks 31 minutes and 17 seconds to the Steelers 28 minutes and 43 seconds. So those are your stats for week 2, Steelers versus Seahawks.
When do you ever see a team literally not win a single stat? I'm looking through what you just said. Like, they didn't win a single stat. They tied in a couple.
Yeah.
They didn't
Not one.
That's very strange to see.
Not one.
I mean, when you lose a game 31-17, but like, this is a game they were favorite coming into.
Yeah.
And to not win a single statistical category is just something you don't see.
You don't, at least somewhere there's something that they do, the other team at least does something maybe a little bit better, but they didn't do anything better than Seattle.
Yeah.
Seattle came
every
in
single facet of the game.
Yep. It was difficult to watch. I mean, they go down and score on their opening drive. We kick a field goal, and then we, turn around with an interception, and you think maybe there's some momentum change right there. But even with the 2 turnovers early that the Steelers did have, they really, I think they only maybe put up 6 points on that, and they didn't really even, get too many scores on that, and I just, I've talked about it, the penalties, they, now we have, 2 weeks, they've done a little bit better, but it just, there's nothing that they did better than Seattle today, and they were at home, and they were the favorite, and they just could not do anything today.
And even from the 2 turnovers perspective, it's 2-2, but that doesn't count Caleb Johnson's mishap on the kick, which is that's a 3rd turnover.
Yeah.
They score on that play. Makes a big difference in the game. I got Tomlin up here, but before we go to Tomlin, you have any other things you want to mention from those stats? Got your eye?
No, I mean, it just there was nothing. I mean, again, they were, like you said, they were kind of close and tied to certain things, but even with that, it just, they could not move the ball on offense. The offensive line couldn't do anything. I don't know what to say. I don't know what happened out there, but like you said earlier in the chat here, in the video, that we can't be all hyped up over that week 1 win against the Jets because of what happened today with the Jets, so it just, this is the Steelers' identity, what we've seen for the past couple of years. I'm willing to give them 3 weeks max and then, burn it down.
I mean, the other thing that's concerning is the defense just isn't as good as it was the last couple years. And I mean, they've always been giving up like bad yards at the end of the game, giving up drives at the end of the game. But they had so many impactful plays that you saw with TJ Watt, like I just mentioned earlier about him not having a sack in 6 games and everything that they're not having yet this year. I am concerned about that. too, because if they don't doing that and they're not going to do anything on offense, it can get ugly.
Yes.
The defense won a few games with Pickett. Obviously, they won a few games with other guys in there over the last couple of years. Even last year with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields in there. They got to figure something out. But here's Tomlin.
Yeah.
I compliment those guys on a winning performance. It's still a ball game, man. There's a lot to be desired, certainly. But it's just interesting. We're in a close ball game last week, and the special teams play broke it open in our favor. This week we're in a close ball game, and the special teams play broke it open in our opponent's favor. And I just think that's life in this business at this level. I got a desire for us to be cleaner, so you can't point to singular plays as, pivotal points in the game, et cetera. And so we got a lot of work to do. And that's just to put it succinctly. Had some injuries. Loudermilk had a high ankle. Highsmith had a high ankle. Patrick Queen had a rib injury. Peyton Wilson was just heat-related fatigue. He missed a block of time. A couple other guys went in and out, were capable of returning. James Pierre kind of being one of them. But really disappointed. We'll get better. We have to. We'll begin that process tomorrow. Questions?
Mike, what happened on that kickoff that they recovered?
It's poor judgment by a young player.
Is that something you specifically work on in practice?
Every day of our lives.
Seattle seems to be going at you.
Before we go on, we've talked about it a little bit, but I mean, what are you doing there? It's the thing that really bothers me is I go like live. I didn't think about it, but the defense can't even move until that ball hits the ground.
Yeah.
So you have a head start on those guys to get to back there. It's very frustrating. They just sat there and did nothing. It's very frustrating. No one else could really get there. I mean, I know there's not that many guys back there, but you still got outran by an entire defense pretty much to that ball. Where if you get there, even if you can bat it out, that's just a safety or a touchback. I think it would be considered a touchback because he didn't actually hold possession of it. Yeah. So they would have still had the ball. It was a mess. It was an awful play. I looked it up. Caleb Johnson, I mean, he wasn't really a kick returner in college. I don't think he should be back there. His junior year especially, he had no returns. He had 3 as a sophomore, and then I think he did have some returns as a freshman, I think 13. But first of all, it's a different style of kickoffs in the pros nowadays. And I just don't think he was drafted for that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they thought of this guy as a guy that they were going to use on kickoffs, but it just doesn't seem that it's working.
Yeah, I mean, even with Tomlin just saying there that it's something they practice every day, it's still crazy how it still happened. And
I don't know. I'm sure they do kickoffs every day, but I kind of am rolling my eyes on the idea that they did that every day because I just don't trust that everything's going the way it should be at practice with this team.
Well, what's crazy?
That's not just like a this year thing either. It's just I don't think that's the case. I don't think they're working on I don't think this is Bill Belichick's practices, whatever the Steelers are doing. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. But just the fact that there was a stat during the game that said a touchdown hasn't happened like that since 1981. It just blows my mind that the Steelers love to make history in the wrong ways, when they're out there playing. I don't understand. It was a poor play. I don't know if Caleb Johnson didn't understand the rules. I don't know if he knew what was going on. But like you said, the fact that none of our players were able to get back there quick enough. And like you said, the defense cannot move until the ball hits the ground or a player. I mean, it's like, it's just bothersome that they didn't move back there enough to even do anything, And so, I mean, this is something they're really going to have to evaluate because you can't have mistakes like this in games because this is exactly what costs a game. The Seattle goes down, they score a touchdown, then they get this touchdown and go up 2 touchdowns, and it just took the air and the life out of this team at that point. They just did not recover from this, and so it really is something they need to make sure they implant into their heads about, okay, you cannot make this mistake moving forward. Maybe they shouldn't have Caleb Johnson back there as a returner. They need to figure something else out. And hopefully, this starts, like he says, tomorrow at practice.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
Let's see. Let's get to some questions.
Yeah.
Pretty aggressively across the middle. What happened there? What more could have been done?
Early in the game or just in general?
Yeah, in general, yeah.
You know, they made some quality plays at different points in time. We absorbed some attrition and probably limited our communication and thus our call sheet. But that's just a part of the game. That's what you do. And so, you compliment them.
Mike, is it injuries that are catching up with the defense? What's caused it? Second?
We were down some bodies going into the game. We absorbed some attrition in game, and many of those guys are new, and so it's a challenge. We certainly are capable of better than that, and so we'll keep working.
Mike, you had 4th and 1 or less than 1 at midfield late in the third quarter. What was your thought process of kicking it there?
It was a 14-14 game. Neither offense was lighting it up at that juncture. As I mentioned, we had absorbed some attrition on defense, and so I want to protect that group and keep them on a long field.
How concerned are you about?
So, I mean, for me, it's back-to-back games, back-to-back days as a Pitt fan, where they had a similar situation where they had a 4th down that they decided to punt on, and the Steelers did it again here, and it didn't work out for either team. You could see it as a momentum swing, too, seeing as both teams were able to score relatively soon after. So it's frustrating to see that he wasn't expecting that his offense could get it. It's point blank what it is. Because if you're worried that your defense isn't going to be good on the short field, that means that you're expecting not to get that 4th and 1. So that is a little depressing. He's lost a little faith. It looks like in the offense already too.
Yeah, it seems like he's lost the trust in them. And if you've lost the trust, then how can you say that you feel as though your team's going to be able to do anything moving forward? It's a little sad to see that from the coach. You don't want to see that, to think that your own players can't go out there and convert a 4th and 1 or be able to make a play. And, and like you said, nothing panned out for them in the end after that. And the momentum was lost and it swung to Seattle. And as you can see, it changed the result of the game at that point. I wouldn't say that point, but there was other things that changed the momentum and swing of the game. So it's sad to hear that from a coach, but I guess that's just the way the game goes sometimes.
So here's a couple more minutes from Tomlin. See what he
The protection that Rodgers is getting right now.
I'm concerned about a lot of things. We didn't perform to the level that we desired, not only in that space, but in a lot of spaces. And so certainly there's a lot that has my attention leading into this upcoming week.
Mike, from a layman's perspective, it seems at times the offensive line didn't hold their blocking long enough, and also at times Aaron didn't get rid of the ball quick enough. So could they come to a happy medium in terms of maybe correcting that succinctly?
Certainly, 2 things are capable of being true.
You had 59 yards rushing before that last drive. What is needed to get this running game going?
We got to possess the ball more. Certainly, we're capable of running it better, but time of possession, our lack thereof, and our opponent's ability to has been a component of that equation or that discussion the last 2 weeks.
What are your thoughts on that?
I disagree with that.
Yeah.
You can't say that. First of all, you can't say that you need more possessions. You had 60 plays on offense, which was about the same as what the Seahawks had. So you can't say that. The time possession was almost the same. They were just only off by like 2 minutes. So you can't say that it's not getting possession. That there's no blocking from the offensive line. That we thought that Warren was going to be the starter. He didn't start in week 1, and then there were at times, until Warren really got the ball, there were times in the beginning of the first quarter where we saw Gainwell in there, and it's like, well, what is the actual game plan? Is Warren the starter or is Gainwell the starter? And so I disagree with all that. They need to better block to get the running game going. That's the problem.
Yeah, through three quarters, it's a tie game. You had a lead for most of the game.
Yeah.
So that's really not a great excuse, like you're saying. Once Seattle starts getting the ball, there's still time left. Once they start getting the lead, I should say, there's still time left. It did get to a point where you're going to pass, but for most of that game, they could have ran the ball. 33-21 is so you have the sacks too. It was probably like 37 to 21 or somewhere around there, pass to run. It's not insane for the NFL today. That's how, but at the same time, they need more balance. As this team specifically, I think needs more balance.
100%.
The way they're playing.
Yep.
Why the other teams seem to be having a lot of long runs against you?
No, we just got to be better, and we will be.
What did you feel was
once again? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think they're going to get better at this?
No.
I mean, you give the injuries, you give a lot of things going on. I don't see them coming out and being better against the run long term. I hope it's the case, but there's no reason to give credibility to that statement he just made, right?
Not at all. I mean, this will be better. I mean, if you're going to be better, you should have been doing this over the past couple of years, and it hasn't gotten better over the past couple of years. And again, I understand it's a new season in week 2, but it's the same thing that the fans have been seeing over the past couple of years, So I don't agree. I don't think that they're going to get better. I want them to get better. I don't think they will, though.
Yep, I'm right there with you.
Allowing them to be so successful in some of those big chunk plays, especially on third downs.
We didn't eliminate some known eligibles, man. I thought particularly early we didn't do enough to minimize 11 on possession downs. I thought we improved in that area, and that's why we were able to settle it down. They went down the field and scored on the first drive, but, it was pretty nip and tuck after that for the remaining 2 quarters until, the game got broken open.
11 is their best receiver. I mean, it's pretty insane to say we didn't do enough to minimize him. What are you doing? Who are you focusing on this offense? If you're not going to focus on Njigba, that's crazy to say.
I just think that he's just trying to make some different excuses, for the way this team played. They didn't play well. I don't get it. I don't know what to say.
Jalen Warren handle an even heavier load?
I'm certain he can. I know that he had a good week's work. I know that he felt good going into today, and he expressed that. And so I see no reason why he can't.
Your rush defense coach, in terms of last week and this week, say 2 back-to-back 100-yard rushes up. Was there that much difference between the Jets and the team you saw today, or is that just the teams being able to just beat?
I hadn't made any comparisons. I was just, as I sit here today, I'm, digesting what transpired in stadium today, and we got to be better.
What do you feel like teams are doing to minimize TJ's impact, and what can you do to get him some more looks?
When they're successfully running the ball, they minimize their one-dimensional passing circumstances, and so I assume that you're asking about his ability to impact the game from a rush standpoint, and so it's obvious what it does when they're on schedule and they're running the ball effectively. You minimize your opportunity to get one-dimensional pass rushes, individually and collectively.
Anyone else?
So that's Mike Tomlin. Steelers lose 31-17. I'll give a rundown of the drives real quick. First quarter, the Seahawks come out, score on a 8-play, 65-yard drive that finishes with a 21-yard touchdown pass to Horton coming from Darnold. Wasn't a great drive for the Steelers, obviously, giving up 7 points to start the game. Steelers come back. They do get points on the board, but they do not get the touchdown. So that stretch of touchdowns lasts 1 week for the offense to open the drive. It was a nice field goal by Boswell. Puts 3 yards. There's a baby kitty on the screen there. 48-yard kick from Boswell. Next drive, 1 play, first play of the drive. Steelers get an interception from Jalen Ramsey. They can't really do anything with it. The Steelers get the ball back and make 6 plays, 14 yards, get a field goal with 2 minutes, 20 seconds left in the opening quarter. That was another 48-yarder from Boswell. So it's 7-6 Seahawks. Seahawks next drive, they got 11 plays, 53 yards. It ended with a blocked field goal. I'm pretty sure it was blocked. That's according to the Steelers' Twitter. I couldn't tell for sure. We're watching live, but it looked like Ramsey got a piece of it at least. I'm not 100% sure on that, though. Next drive for the Steelers, though, 3 plays and negative 2 yards. So back-to-back drives where good things happen for the Steelers, but they cannot really capitalize on it. Next drive for the Seahawks, 5 plays, 21 yards, punt. Steelers, 3 plays, 1 yard punt. Next drive, another interception. This one by Herbig. Herbig takes it back, I think, 41 yards. Sets the Steelers up pretty well at the 21-yard line. The Steelers go and do capitalize this time around. 6 plays, 21 yards for the touchdown. That was a 2-yard pass to to DK Metcalf for the score. 2-point conversion also. That was 2-point conversion was at Washington. That was successful, make it 14-7. Next drive for the Seahawks, they go 4 plays, 21 yards at the punt. Steelers end up getting -6 yards on one play. They ended up ending the half there. So 14-7 halftime. What were you thinking? The offense wasn't playing great, but the defense at this point was doing enough to make you have hope that this was going to be a win for the Steelers, right?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're thinking it's going to be a win, but it's not going to be as high scoring because it was 14-7 at half. I got to give Cam Hayward a shout out for batting that ball and getting it intercepted by Nick Herbig.
Yep.
So got to give him a shout out for there after I complained about him the other day, but he made a play there on the ball there, which was pretty good. So good on him. But the offense really wasn't moving too much, but the defense was keeping them in the game with the 2 interceptions. I don't even think Rodgers had an interception at this point, but the passing wasn't there on offense. And
no interceptions at this point for Rodgers.
And so it looked like it could be a lower scoring win for them. Maybe they might have scored one more touchdown and the game would have been 21-7. But I was kind of thinking that this would be a win at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Rodgers wasn't doing well. I think he was at 45 yards passing at halftime.
Yeah,
that's correct. It seemed like they were going to do it, but right away, Steelers get the ball to start the half, go 6 plays, 19 yards, and a punt. Then the Seahawks come back 9 plays, 80 yards for a touchdown to tie the game at 14-14. The Steelers go, and they're driving a little bit, go 4 plays, 66 yards, but then we get an interception. That was in the end zone to make it to stop the scoring on the Steelers' part. The Seahawks did not do anything after that. They went 3 plays, 0 yards. Steelers got the ball back, 3 plays, 9 yards, punt. That was that midfield play that Tomlin had talked about. I think you got to go for it there, but who knows? The Seahawks come back, 10 plays, 55 yards, get a field goal to take a 17-14 lead. That next play, kickoff, is the Caleb Johnson play. Makes it 24-14. That's a 10-point swing. I mean, honestly, if you're counting that interception, that it's a pretty significant swing within about like 20 minutes or so of real time, less than like probably 5 minutes of game time. Steelers do get a field goal in the next drive to make it 24-17, but then the Seahawks come right back down, 7 plays, 73 yards to make it 31-17. At that point, I in my eyes, it was over. I don't know how you felt, but the Steelers do get the ball back, go 8 plays, 19 yards with an interception on Rodgers. That was all she wrote, obviously.
Yeah.
The Seahawks do go get the ball back, and the Steelers decide they're going to call timeouts down 31-17. They get the ball back. You get 3 plays. You get to see Mason Rudolph. Congrats to Mason for getting some ball out there. That's your ball game. Ugly in the second half, sure.
What I don't understand at the end of that game when they call those timeouts, you're making the fans at least think that, okay, we call all the timeouts, we get the ball back, that they're actually going to do something, and they don't do any hurry up.
Yeah, my thinking was that they were like, hey, if we block a punt, fucking we're doing good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get a punt. Thank you. Working punch production. Appreciate you out there.
Appreciate it.
If you get a block punt there, you score on the punt. 50 seconds left, you get an onside kick. I can see that may have been the thought process of not giving up there and going for it. But yeah, you're right. As soon as it was punted, it was they didn't care. Even before that, with Rodgers, when you're down 31-17, they were huddling up. They were doing everything. There was no like urgency for sure.
No.
It was almost like they had given up at 31-17.
Yeah, I don't know what the game plan was. I mean, I think we even saw at one point, I think it was still like there was still like that minute left in the game when Mason got in there and Mike Tomlin took the headset off. Like, what was the point of calling the timeouts then? If you're just going to take the headset off there at the end of the game there and
I do think it's what I said. I honestly think it was that he was hoping that they could like block that punt or get a big punt return for a touchdown. And once that didn't happen, that's when it was over in his eyes.
I hear
That's
you.
how I think it was. So I'm not going to shit on Tomlin on that one. I am for trying to the end, and he tried till 59 minutes. It's far enough, I guess.
I guess. I mean, it's a 60-minute game. I want to try all the way till the end of the game, till the clock strikes 0. You know, that's just me. I don't know.
But I mean,
it was
what a shitty game.
Yeah.
As a Pitt fan, this has been a very shitty weekend. I'm done with football locally for a couple days. I will not be looking anything up. I will not be searching anything. Hopefully these national games are good though for the rest of the night. Any parting shots?
I just want to say Cam Hayward made a play, so
I'm happy to get off his back for a little bit.
Maybe we'll see.
I heard you were told you were given direct orders to get off his back.
Yeah, I was told he's a good player. I got to get off
someone close to the family.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So we'll see how he plays the rest of the season. Jalen Ramsey made a couple plays, but he still got cooked on a couple plays too. So I don't know how I feel about him today.
Yeah, it was a hit and miss for sure
for him. Jalen Warren made some plays today. I just hope that they can show up next week, and we'll talk about that later. But let's just hope that this game isn't like how next week goes. I want to believe that Mike Tomlin is going to say that things are going to get better, that they will get better. I don't believe it right now. I'm giving this team 3 more weeks, and if they end up shitting the bed, might as well just burn the whole thing down and start from scratch.
3 more weeks or 3 more games?
3 more games. Sorry, 3 more games. Yeah, because there's a bye week coming up. So 3 more games.
You were gonna snap on them on the bye week. It was gonna be pretty funny.
Yeah.
3 more teams have had it with this team. They can't do shit.
Haven't even played. They're on the bye week. Yeah. 3 more games. 3 more games. I'm giving them, and that's it. Like my friend Ben says, defense is overpaid and overrated. That's just what it is.
They're trying to silence me over here. My camera keeps coming off, so someone's definitely listening.
Oh, they don't want you talking.
Leave with that. Have a good night. I'll see you.
I'll see ya.